Cunts. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
That made it in.
Oh, man.
That made it in.
No,
I can't wait. I can't wait. We'll fix it in post. We'll
Even
fix
if
it
it
in post.
did, I've made the Australians very happy. I've made them very happy.
Hey, I mean, it's the place where our fans are the most. So why not? Why not cater something to them? You know what I mean?
Did you guys hear that?
Hit me with an R&R. Hit me with an R&R in there if you heard it. If you heard it, there it is.
I heard it. Wow.
So did everyone else. Look at that go.
Well,
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the extra content you guys all came here for.
Yeah, the extra content,
If you want to hear that and more, go over to our Patreon. By the way, let's thank the Patreons. Do we have that slide up by any chance? Oh, man. Thank you so much to Kinsby Extreme, DJ Bob, Less Than Sarah, The Waiting Place, Pondy98, Chucky No Toes 92, 66JD, Malark 5542, I Was a Bullfrog, Legion Gaming, and our newbie to the breakfast table, Lucas Patrick, and No Thanks Nettist. If you guys would like to have your names added to the list of people on there, you can go over to Breakfast of Champions, patreon.com/Breakfast of Champions, 3 tiers, more content, more often. It's on like Patreon, where you get all that content and more after dark. Eric Ladd.
Speaking of
Kitsune Bites.
Hey.
Yes.
What are we doing after the show today?
We have a tell-all of some sort that is going to be fun. As a matter of fact, I think you posted over on the Patreon a couple of days ago asking for some questions.
I did.
Asking for some questions to be asked about GameStop, the deepest, darkest secrets and dirtiest desires of any GameStop associate. To be told all, and I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. So, of course, Nerdwire worked at Cody worked at GameStop. Of course, being he was recently promoted to customer, and he worked there for a number of years. And if you ever wanted to know anything specific about GameStop or whatever, ask a question. You can join our Discord as well and drop some questions down there. Even if you're not on the Patreon, we would love to know. I have incredible news today, and I'm going to share it to you right now. I no longer like coffee. I don't like the taste of it. I have it right in front of me. I don't like beer anymore. I had 2 beers last night. So now I can no longer say that this is the show about coffee, games, and life, because it's just about the show about games and life. And I don't know if I'll ever like coffee again.
I think I've just fallen more in love with you.
What is this podcast now? The premier I keep telling people it's the premier podcast about coffee, games, and life, where only one of us likes coffee and all of us like games, and no one here likes life.
I didn't ask for this.
I'm so happy. You've made my day. So what are you sipping on? Are you sipping? Was that Coca-Cola in there?
Coca-Cola? No, this is Nescafe Gold.
Oh.
No wonder you don't like it. Is that instant coffee?
That is instant coffee. But you know what? Beowulf in the chat, by the way, gave me a great tip. And what he said was put like your instant coffee grounds or whatever in the cup, and then mix it with cold water first. And then, because I think if you treat it with hot water, it makes it taste really poorly. So I've made it that way. And it tastes all right here.
It's impressive.
Anyway.
It's impressive. So what are we the premier podcast of now?
Apparently, Nettis in the chat says we could be the show about hard liquor, games, and life.
Hard liquor.
But I say liquor. I don't even know her.
Liquor, I hardly know her.
So
door is off the hinge, guys. It's completely gone.
I mean, you're the one that started the show with saying. I mean, like I don't know.
It's what you do. It's what you do on a Saturday night.
Welcome back. You know.
Yeah.
So we had a week off. I was unwell, and now we're back to it. I mean, like I don't know. Like I just after the show, after the show last, I went up on the couch and I just sat with my son, and then like it just came over me all of a sudden. I was like, oh my God, I feel really unwell. And then I subsequently took 2 days off of work, and I was back to work after that. But I just like was overcome with something not very nice. I don't know what, but it just wasn't good, and I'm back to normal now. It just totally killed the momentum of what I had going. Like I did a ton of streams the prior week, and was excited to get back into it for the year, and then all this, it's just gone.
Yeah, I see you're back to possibly making some music though.
Yes, it is. It is. I actually had a very top secret call before.
Oh God!
Before we went live, and I'm not going to say anything else.
I'm very excited. You did a tweet though. If for those of you that want to know, go look at the tweet.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy IX, so I might be making a Final Fantasy IX album.
I'm very excited for that. I tweeted back at you.
Yeah, you did. I like that.
If you don't name that virtue, I'm going to lose my mind.
I like that. 66JD suggested Mist of Gaia.
Mist of Gaia.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
So we'll see. I don't know. It's all pre-production at the moment. Anyway, KB, what the heck's going on in your neck of the woods, dude? I have not seen you, or
me.
I haven't looked at your face in a long time, and I just feel like half of a man without you in my sights.
Well, I mean, I'm glad I can make you feel right at home. Last week I finally got my new computer, so I've been messing around with that.
What'd you get? Tell me.
I got a 16-inch MacBook Pro with the M1 Max.
Nice.
So I got all the Adobe little fun things on there. So I've been messing around with Illustrator and After Effects because I'm trying to learn how to do crazy animations and really up the production value of some videos. So
nice.
That M1 Max is a good chip too, man.
So what I've heard, even though they recently came out with the M2, but I was talking with Cody earlier. Yeah, it's not going to make that big of a difference. So.
It's like theoretically 20% faster theoretically, and the problem is it's what's 20% faster of a second. It's already super fast. The M1 chip is working insanely quick. Who cares about that moderate speed boost?
Right. And like I said to you, it's not like I'm over here trying to make the next Star Wars off the thing. So I mean, it's gonna work for what I want, and I'm just happy to have I'll have my streaming PC that I'm using now, and then I can go downstairs and just sit on post up on the couch and just throw some headphones in and work, man. It's gonna be nice.
It's
gonna be real nice.
More family time. More time with Mrs. KB. You got your portable now, dude.
That was the whole thing, because it was do I want to upgrade my PC, my actual PC, and just live upstairs and not spend time with her, or have the flexibility to where, okay, if I want to go somewhere, I just take my work computer with me and go. I mean, who knows? Maybe summertime I'll go, surprise Nerdwire, and then we'll just, hang out and stream.
Not that far of a drive.
You never know. So
get the Doritos and the pizza.
I mean, I would have something, or if I decide to just skip town and go to Australia, I'd take my MacBook with me and we're on the road.
Not that far of a drive. He'll get the Doritos and the pizza.
Hey, listen, if they can drive a car underwater and James and the Giant Peach, anything's possible.
Yo, that movie is something else.
It's so good though. It's so good. I love that movie, but it's that good stop motion Tim Burton-esque actual heyday of Tim Burton animation. Oh man.
So Nerdwire, we have not mentioned you've dyed your hair blue and purple. So are you a DLC for Fire Emblem Engage, or what's going on here?
I did that the day before Fire Emblem was coming out, and I got to thinking about it. I was like, everybody's probably going to think I did this for Fire Emblem. Legit, straight up pro tag, main character energy. But, that being said, no, I wanted to do something different. The old corporate world wasn't kind to me, telling me, you can't have long hair as a male. You cannot dye your hair unnatural colors. You can't get a facial piercing. You can't do this and that. You got to be executive presence. And I was like, screw that. I'm executively better than all of you, and I'm just gonna leave. So I don't know. God. I wanted to change, and I thought I'd do something fun, and now I am now Fire Emblem incarnate. I am the Divine Dragon and have awoken.
So GameStop kept you in a cocoon, and now that you have finished GameStop, you have turned into a beautiful butterfly that's just riding on the wings of free air.
I like to think before I was a slug, and now I've turned into a peacock.
There you go.
I mean, I can see that.
There you go.
You can see my peacock?
There you go.
I mean, Yeah.
I just like the colors. I like the colors you picked, man. Because you know me. I mean, I'm all over that stuff.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's that blue, purple, teal, man. That's chef's kiss.
It's been good, dude. Like legit. So the last couple of weeks for me was really good. Just in general, though. Like I did, Games Done Quick did their biannual. I guess that's 2 a year. I mean, is that biannual? Half annual. Every 6 months they do one, pretty much. And they did their charity event for Prevent Cancer. That was a really good charity event, 24/7 speedrunning video games. I had a lot of stuff going over in my community, just chatting with everybody and watching speedruns. I took it really easy that week too, so I didn't stream nearly as much, even though I got crap given to me by one Eric Ladd, says not streaming as much, still streamed 7 times. And I'm like,
dude, you posted this update. It's like, sorry, we've been a little light on the streams this week, and I look at your schedule and you still have like 8 streams, and I'm like, I mean, like, how much more are you gonna do? You're streaming more days than there are in a week.
I was on 2 days pretty much, and it just was weird because like I wasn't doing my evening show at all. Like I was doing the afternoon stuff because the evening stuff was like bangers, like really really good speedruns. There were a bunch of world records set in like TMNT Shredder's Revenge. There was a world record set on that. That was really cool.
Yeah.
But then the weekend came around and I mean shoot, I started hitting it hard again on stream stuff, but I got my analog pocket like right toward the end of the end of GDQ, and I was so excited. I've loaded that up with pretty much every ROM in my own personal legally obtained collection from the internet, but it's all on there. I have every game from NES all the way up to Neo Geo, Sega Genesis, nice. Game Boy, like every Game Boy iteration. Like it's been really good playing through some of that stuff and a really good nostalgia hit. And then realistically, like Fire Emblem has been exciting. I'm finished up Undertale True Pacifist, which by the way, I heard that you never finished it that way. You should go back. You should go back, Eric.
What did I do? Did I
heard you killed Flowey at the end of the end.
No, did I? There was. I got tricked into it.
Oh no.
Yeah, there was.
I've been there. I got tricked into playing hard mode by naming my character a name that I won't say on stream because it would be a mild spoiler, but I got tricked into playing hard mode first and didn't know that it was like this name will make your life hell, and I'm like, don't worry, my real life one has too, so let's go for it. And so I went ahead and played through it, and it was really good. Finished up True Pacifist. I think Sunday night I'm replacing Fire Emblem because I was going to do Fire Emblem Engage on Sunday night, but I think I'm going to go through Undertale again, but do the genocide route and like murder everybody. But that game was really good and great music.
Yeah.
Phenomenal music. I don't know if I think you do have a couple of covers from Undertale out there. Is that true or no? You should if you don't.
I should. And
I agree. He should do some.
I was playing through it and I was totally blown away with the music that Toby Fox composed for that game. By the way, that's a one dev game. Toby Fox did the game, did the music, and of course he just recently had some music featured in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as well. So like kind of graduating up towards working with the big wigs like that.
Yep.
So
Game Freak really likes him. Like he did Little Town Hero, which was critically panned, but I mean, getting some more music in there for Pokemon's just, I mean, that's a feather in one's cap if I've ever seen it.
Sure is. And the music in that game is great. Like I finished that it took me 6 days to finish that game from start to credits. I blazed through that game, and like thankfully I've been taking my Switch to work with me, so like it's been pretty dead quiet. So I just sit there and just blast through Pokemon, and I gotta say, like that was probably the best Pokemon game in a long time, and I was really just not sure about wanting to pick it up. They did really well. It was really good.
Absolutely. It was phenomenal. I love that game. They have a raid coming up. If you want to raid for Greninja, they have a raid coming up next weekend. Perhaps so. Yes. I'll be available to help. We've got a pretty stacked team of Pokemon to go up against it, and we're doing the raid on my channel. I think that's Friday night. But I'll be available for anyone. It's over the weekend, Friday night. U.S. days, not necessarily Australian days.
Yeah. It's Friday night, it'll be Saturday morning. So, so Pokemon came out last year, right? And you know what else came out last year?
What else came out last year?
I'm gonna bring it up here. I'm gonna show you what came out last year, and it was the Breakfast of Champions podcast.
Oh my god!
Look at that.
It's adorable.
So what we are gonna do is I got sent stats about like 2 weeks ago, and it was a 2022 recap for Breakfast of Champions. And I've already scrolled through it when I first got the email, but I wanted to run through it with you guys before we get into our voicemail, because we have one for today. And I just thought it'd be cool to kind of backtrack and see, because the show is only like 7 months old at this point. We're still fledgling. So let's go ahead and have a look. This is sent to us by Buzzsprout, which is our distributor for the audio platforms. So if you're listening on Spotify and iTunes, it goes through that distro there. So this is the 2022 Breakfast of Champions backtrack. We had 25 episodes released in 2022, so we are the bi-weekly boss. You averaged 2.08 episodes per month, which is BS because we're weekly.
Yeah. It was half a year, though. They probably based it off of a 12-month rolling cycle. That's still really cool, though. Two?
Our most popular city is Melbourne. 174 downloads made in Melbourne, Victoria, a hot spot on your listener map. So we're actually biggest in Australia than anywhere else.
Hey,
there you go.
I'm international.
Dunes or Duns, the Scottish borders. These are other notable cities. Frankfurt, so we're popular in Germany. Rancho Cucamonga, of course, hitting the list, and then Mount Sterling, Kentucky.
Is that number like how many users downloaded like from that area? If you are from Rancho Cucamonga, let me know.
Honestly, I'm saying like if you are in Rancho Cucamonga, send us a message. I want to call you on the show. I want to know what's going on down there.
Call you.
We have been listened to in 13 countries.
Yeah,
we are
gosh.
Jet setter. So 409 downloads in the US, 207 in Australia, UK, Germany, Sweden. So we're all over.
That's cool.
We're all over. Top episodes. Unfortunately, however, our episodes that are top go by no. I thought they went out by like 1 through 5. So first episode is most popular. The Did Somebody Say Retro episode is popular. That was a really good one. Unfortunately, none of these feature Nerdwire, but that's okay.
That's okay.
We're going to make sure that changes this year. So here's our total stats. 843 downloads, 15 countries, 25 episodes, almost 2,000 minutes worth of stuff listened to or posted.
Does that count streams also?
No.
Or is it only counting downloads?
That's only downloads.
Because like before I came, I was streaming it off of Apple Podcasts. I didn't do the download. I'd just stream it and listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, it will count because like if you stream it off of Apple, iTunes or whatever, it still counts.
Okay.
So there you go.
Very cool. Very cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that's cool. That list. That whole thing was a list of achievements that you two helped make. Like it was, and me partially, but you guys, the blood and butter, the bread and blood, the I am the body, like, hot dog Christ. You guys, absolutely the bread and butter. The community getting it started, and like it was awesome. Like
you called in on episode 2. Don't forget.
You did?
Yeah, I did do that.
You called in. And I remember
I'm going to call in.
First episode with KB, he was all sweaty from his Stormtrooper helmet.
I was. I was a very sweaty man that day.
You were.
Man.
So we had a great time in 2022. And of course, we're looking forward to more stuff. Now, with that being said, we also have a voicemail today. Now, this one is sent in. Now, let me just double check here. So, Lord Hollowington Smythe and Mandy were busy, so Big Baz called in for the show today.
Oh yeah.
So this is going to be a good one. This is a 14-second voicemail. I've not listened to it yet.
All right, boys, this is Big Baz, and I've got a question for you, lads. Now, if you're stuck on a desert island, what game would you take with you? There you go. There's a question.
So, as Big Baz says, if you were stuck on a desert island, what game are you taking with you?
Oh,
man,
that's hard.
the one and only game that I can take with me. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's so many options is the problem, and things that would be good and things that I know would be good. But if I want to have like an experience that is just going to keep on giving, that's different every time, that's going to be challenging, that isn't going to grow old, that I don't mind going back to, like maybe Binding of Isaac Repentance legit.
Interesting.
Like, it's a different choice, because like part of me was like Super Mario Brothers 3, because that's my favorite game of all time, like of all time. I play that game, like I pick that up and play through that game nearly weekly, like on my own time. Like I still do that. And I think I would have a hard choice between that or Binding of Isaac, but Binding of Isaac is just so much that I can experience in that game that it will just keep on giving, seeing the synergies like in between the items, like the roguelike nature of it. It is just a gift that keeps on giving. But like, oh man, Mario 3 though, Mario Brothers 3, I don't know, like it'd be a hard choice. It'd be a hard choice. Those are my two, but I'd have to choose one, and I guess I've got to cut off one baby from the other one.
Well, let me ask this: is this a desert island? Is there a loophole, or is it like the three of us are on the island together?
Yeah, well, we could do a multiplayer game. I mean, what's like if we were all three of us? Let's do one multiplayer and one normal one. I mean, I'd say Smash Brothers Melee. That'd be mine, 100%.
It's true.
I would just bring Mario All Stars, man. Because I get my personal favorite Super Mario World. I get Super Mario World, my favorite. You get Super Mario 3, and then we get the other ones. So like, it's technically one game with multiple games within. So there's mine.
Multiplayer Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
It's a best of collection of Mario Kart. It's not the best Mario Kart, but it's a best of, and it's good multiplayer time.
I want to say, hang on.
So
I want to say that I've got two choices, and I need to whittle them down. I've got Final Fantasy VII, and I've also got Chrono Trigger. And which one do I choose?
I'd go with 7.
I'd go with 7, purely because it's a longer game, and plus the reason why I would pick 7 is because there's different ways that you can play this game. I mean, you can play it stock standard, straight through, even just like on PS1. But you know, there's ways that you can figure out how to do exploits and do like the calm skip, so you can skip the memory scene of, you know, when everybody's like, Cloud, so who are you, where'd you come from, et cetera, et cetera. And then, you know, there's the flashback scene, so that's like an extra 20-30 minutes of dialogue and all that stuff that people have figured out how to skip. So there's ways that you can play that. And of course, you know, if you want to breed the gold chocobo and get Knights of the Round materia, I mean, there's like the possibilities are limitless if you want to 100% the game, and it would take ages and ages and ages. So yeah, that's I think Final Fantasy VII would be my desert island game.
Okay.
I really like some of the live chat options that are out there that people are saying. I've seen Witcher 3, Skyrim, Mario 3D All-Stars, Stardew Valley, Earthbound, more Final Fantasy VII, the mini games in Final Fantasy VII. Like, there's a lot of really, really good like recommendations out there that I think would be that'd be cool too.
Yeah,
be cool too. Our live chat has good taste.
They do.
Absolutely. They're watching us now, so why would they not?
Yep.
So because we've been off for about a week and a bit, we're gonna flash on over to our Newsbyte, and as usual, boy, this is a good one. So KB is gonna start this one, because I know this topic number 1 here. I know you can't wait to talk about that. So let's do that now.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
So, to kick off the news, excuse me, kick off the news. You guys remember a little network called G4?
Oh yeah.
G4. We've talked about G4 here, but
How about
I loved it.
X-Play? Did you guys like X-Play? I thought,
loved
Adam
it.
Sessler, Morgan Webb, they meshed well. They were good. The guy had some great takes on video games.
Yeah.
Well, he has a new take, and it's about RGT 85's chode.
Oh no!
The man has gone off the rails. Adam Sessler, everybody, has finally admitted that he is not a gamer, that he hates gamers, and
He deleted the tweet.
He deleted all of his tweets. He's been fighting
deleted
people.
his Twitter?
No. He's been getting rid of some of his some of his stuff. He's been cleaning house just to kind of make him look a little bit better. The man, listen, the guy goes and says something about gamers having, small minds and small members and all this stuff, right? So RGT85 goes, listen, my dude, I don't know what bad batch you got, but you need to put the piece down and just get off the internet, man. Like, you need a hug. Like, somebody get you in a rehab place and say, like, a hug or something. You need it. You need something. And Adam Sessler just decided that he was going to berate everybody. And he's been going on a tirade. I can't get over the fact that somebody who was on a network for video games, who, there's a lot of people that might have gotten into journalism from watching his show. And then the guy does this. He goes, I have a theory on this. It's because gamers are small-dicked, synaptically challenged social scabies. I mean,
Those are his words.
but what is triggering this guy, this poor old man at this point? What is like?
What was he replying to?
It was
because this feels. Oh wait, what was the thing said there?
Why do they all think you personally ran G4 and made all the financial decisions? I think that was a
So
bit
in
of
regards to G4's cancellation, second cancellation, most
possibly
likely.
could have been, yeah.
But,
oh my gosh.
But the guy. Okay, so like before G4, he was on a show similar to X-Play, and he had some mild off-color takes with certain things. He would go on these weird tangents. Then G4 came over, bought that show, that network, and made X-Play. He did great on X-Play. Mm-hmm. They shit-can him from X-Play. Then he goes right into, his own YouTube series. I remember watching it. It was Sessler's Soapbox. Mm-hmm. It was really good. He had some...
She brought over to G4.
Yep. And then he disappeared. He went away. G4 had their reunion Thanksgiving Day thing, and then he started going on, while actively being reemployed by G4, going on political tyrant things and just doing Sessler things. But it's like he pissed off everybody in a political space. Then he pissed off everybody in the medical field. Then he pissed off everybody who hates anybody. Like, he just keeps going and going and going. And it's like, dude, just go move, like, do something, go away, go on, MySpace or so, go somewhere where it's not like, I don't know. He's a public figure in a public space. And then he does this stuff. Like, I don't understand.
I'm like watching these tweets fly by as like Eric's scanning through this video.
Yeah.
That was posted by RGT85. Adam Sessler has lost his freaking mind and attacks gamers, and this is just sad.
Yeah.
And like on top of that, like the guy made video game content. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you do it for a job or you do it for your own time, on your own pleasure, there is a level of you become what your identity becomes, what you do.
Yes.
And he's lumped in here with the rest of us small weenie people that he's like, he absolutely is, because I mean, his identity is wrapped up in video games and video games journalism just in general. Mm-hmm. Like, it is who he is. It's the only reason he has the platform he has. Mm-hmm. That's insane. Just like popping off like that.
He could have said, you know what, like, I'm not a gamer, I'm a video game journalist. I was in that space for many years. Now I'm not in that space. Like, do I consider myself a gamer? No, but you guys are gamers, and respect my things, and I'll respect. Like, people were doxing him off of this.
What?
They were finding his old finding
no.
his old addresses, posting them, and like checking off on a map where he used to live and all this stuff.
That's
like
sad, dude. I think that's a sad day.
Like, look at that. Hold on, go back. Look at his profile picture. I mean, there's so many memes. One of them has him as the Gordon Fisherman, like on a fish. Like look at that. That is the face of a angry Amish man right there.
He's pissed off because the butter won't churn. I mean, like, the thing is like that's all well and fine if he doesn't want to be called a gamer, but he for a period of time he was the face of games journalism, and I really admired Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb. I loved that show, but man, he's canceled. He's canceled now. He's canceled himself. I mean, like, we've talked about him before, and some of his angry tweets and stuff, but I think that's a whole new low. You cannot alienate essentially your entire fan base there with those series of tweets, and of course he's deleted them now. Of course, I don't know whether he's had clarity or what, but I
think he's hiding at that point.
Clarity.
He's hot dog Christ.
Yeah.
He got sober. That's what happened. It's it's an off day.
Yeah.
Woke up and said, "What have I done?"
Probably.
I don't know. I don't get it. It's sad to see because, like you said, man, it's you watch him for how many years, and then this.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing, and part of me, from like a outside perspective looking in, if I myself was not a gamer. If I myself was not a gamer, I could see how his opinion would be that, because I mean, by and large, the gaming community, and that's not me like trying to boo hiss at anybody, can sometimes be considered very toxic. I saw those people come into my stores when I was working at GameStop. I continue to see those kinds of people out in public, but that is, I would say that is a. Let me backspace a little bit. That is a loud minority of people who are the small-minded individuals, and it's no wonder he's disenfranchised or has a distaste for gamers based on that alone. But at the same time, the dude's washed up. Yeah. He is totally and completely washed up. Like, I saw him on G4, and I was excited to see him back in that saddle again, because I didn't have any of that prior context of him being a cocaine-fueled idiot. But that being said, like, his content did not excite me as much anymore. It was all of his co-hosts that surrounded him that I was like, I like these people. I like these people. They have good takes. He just wants to say the hottest thing that's on his mind, and it got him canceled. And he deserves it.
Yeah. Shame. I mean, like, he and Morgan Webb had fantastic chemistry for X-Play, and that set the bar for like video game reviewing and stuff like that. But I mean, that's a different time, because G4 underperformed. And you know what else underperformed?
What's that, Eric? Tell us.
Sparks of Hope. It's kind of disappointing, because Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope came out. Of course, this was a sequel to the hot game Mario plus Rabbids. I can't remember what the original one was called. But yeah, apparently it just didn't perform very well, and it's disappointing from what they're saying. Ubisoft, they pushed it pretty well, but I guess even from what I heard, I know we have a super fan of Mario Rabbids amongst our friends here on Twitch, and that's the Unseen Gamer, and he won 100% of the game. I mean, good for him, and I know he really enjoyed the original one. He was super stoked for the new one to come out, and he said he didn't quite enjoy it as much as the first one, and to be honest with you, I didn't either. I thought it was a fine game, but there wasn't anything that really necessarily hooked me about the new one. So I don't know if it's whether the content of the game just wasn't, all there, or maybe just it was just kind of a flash in the pan thing, the original one.
I've got a take on this.
It didn't stick very well, so let's hear it.
I think it was Ubisofting it up. At the end of the day, every single Ubisoft game that ever comes out gets discounted immediately. You look at Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and it's $15 for the gold edition before the second one even came out. Like, I think they Ubisofted it up because there are a lot of people who are like, I want a tactics game, but I don't want to pay $60 for it, so I'm just going to wait till Ubisoft drops the price to where it's 30, 15, 20, whatever number they put in between there. And it's no wonder when you set the standard for this is how you are going to sell your game. Because I mean, take Nintendo for instance, right? Nintendo games never go on sale ever. I mean, it's a cold day in hell when that happens. And for them to put something like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild back when it was like $44, that's a $15 off sale USD. That's a $15 off sale. That's nothing compared to like the discount that you see on most Ubisoft games where they drop from 60 to 15, 20. Like that's, yeah, I want to buy that, but I'm going to wait for the sale. And that's what I think Ubisoft did. And it's like, they're very surprised by their own self-fulfilling prophecy that they have built within it. Like their sales marketing strategy is terrible.
Yeah. Nettis in the chat nails this one here. So you're saying the budget development, the development to be a $30 game and sell it at $60 because they know some people will buy it and then drop it to the real price. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't necessarily surprise me. I mean, I saw an article recently talking about the price of games in the late 90s, because if you remember, like games like Chrono Trigger and Earthbound back then would have been like close to like $99 US, $100 US, and now the prices have kind of dropped, because I remember when they were $49.95, then $59, in Australia some games like Gran Turismo 7 is $109. I saw that yesterday.
Didn't Earthbound launch at like $110 price
Earthbound
point?
launched at a really high price, and of course it didn't sell well because their marketing campaign was trash, because they said this game stinks, of course, which was awful. So I think there's something to be said about the price of games. It was actually Masahiro Sakurai, the dev from Smash Brothers, said he wonders if the price of games should actually be higher considering normal nowadays development costs. So I mean that says a lot about the sale price of Sparks of Hope or whatever. Like, I mean, they're spending millions of dollars on development, and then already they're discounting it because they're not liking the numbers that they've seen, and they can't fluctuate like that.
Well, I mean, the thing I wanted to add to it was, they all sit around a board meeting. What are your projected numbers for this one? They could have set that at 20 million and only sold 15. So on Black and White, that's it underperformed. You didn't think it sold as much as it could. I mean, that's the other thing. We don't know what their target sales were for that particular title.
You bought it at launch, didn't you, Eric?
I did. I
also bought it at launch.
Yep.
I did the gold edition at launch. I think I spent $80 on that. I think is what it was. American dollars. I don't know how much you spent on yours. I think you ended up getting a deal though, didn't you?
It was
you got a deal on launch.
It was $69.95, and it came with the steel
Australian.
book. Yeah, $69.95 Australian.
Yeah,
so it would have been
you got it a lot cheaper than I got it.
Yep. Yeah. If I'm paying for games at like $69.95, it's considerably cheap. Like I'm paying for games brand new less than what you are. For some reason that works out that way. So.
Hey, at least something's cheaper in Australia. But it's like at the end of the day, like that price point, like I knew what I was getting into, but I wanted to experience it, and I was fine with paying that install base price. And that's the thing, is it is almost like what they did with the Nintendo Ambassador program. What Nintendo did with the Nintendo Ambassador program. Oh well, it's not selling that well. Well, we got to drop the price about $100. Okay, well then we're also going to throw in all this extra stuff. And the people who bought it at launch are the people who get screwed, because we don't get that value back. We're not going to have that money back. But they knew that's what they could do, and they coasted off of that profitability until it just died out. And now it's okay. Here's pittance for what your install base paid.
It's a bit of a mess.
Frustrating.
You know what else is a mess?
What else is a mess?
Who wants to take the next one?
Cody, why don't you do it?
Oh shoot, I can do that. Outbound Ghost dev. You guys are familiar with it. I haven't streamed it, but I know Eric Ladd, KB have both streamed a little bit of Outbound Ghost. It was pretty Paper Mario like. I was excited about it. I bought it because I saw them streaming it, and I was like, I'm gonna play that on my Steam Deck.
Yep.
So there's been this litany of terribleness that has been happening over at Con Radical Games versus his publisher. The creator of the game, Conrad, and the owner of his Soul Person studio of Con Radical Games had to make a statement recently regarding all the drama that's been going on. And he says, "This is Conrad, lead developer of the Outbound Ghost. Regarding it, our legal team is currently undergoing intense legal discussions and have nothing to announce at the moment." It goes on to announce that he has a new game that's being developed by Rad Hood, which is a change in the name, which is curious because it was Conradical Games. A change in the name to Rad Hood. Many members of the Conradical Games dev team are working at Rad Hood Games as well. For Soulstalker, you can go follow that at Soulstalker Game, what have you. It does look really, really neat. It looks cool, and it's like Vampire Survivors meets Paper Mario on this one. I feel like is the comparison I would make. But the question that I have coming out of that story is, do you guys think that like he will have any continued success in terms of finding a publisher based on the previous drama llama that he decided to bring home? Like,
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. And we talked about this before. I mean, if you're looking at the assets of this game, he's reused everything from Outbound Ghost, everything, like literally everything from the Outbound Ghost, and just changed the way that the game plays. So, I mean, which is kind of smart, I suppose, if you're trying to salvage something, but it's disappointing because the way that he publicly handled the situation, the publisher, didn't. I don't know what the situation is with that, but that game is a wash, and it was actually pulled from Steam for a period of time. So
probably because it was being review bombed by Conrad himself.
Yeah.
Like, what
exactly.
are you doing, dude?
Yeah,
like it is sad to see this guy, and I'm honestly surprised he's putting anything else out. Like, legitimately, I'm honestly surprised he's putting anything else out, especially this quickly after all the other nonsense that happened.
I know, it's disappointing.
I don't know. I don't think personally, even though I thought the game was charming, and I thought to an extent what the publisher did for him was a disservice to him based on his behavior. Like, even I don't think I will be picking up that next thing. Like,
No.
I can't. I'm not interested.
Well, I mean, it's going to be curious to see if that goes to a legal battle, because if he's reusing assets from a game that apparently
He's under license.
Exactly. No matter what, even if it's your original stuff, man, you signed papers. Always read the fine print. Like,
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know what his terms and legal conditions were, but I am interested to see what ends up happening. It looks like his game redone in Vampire Survivors, though. No original ideas. Tribute games all around.
So we'll see. Speaking of games and terrible endings, KB, I know you cannot wait to talk about this one, so we're going to flick on over to this one. Let's tell us about this one here.
So, U.S. Customs allegedly destroys a sealed copy, water-graded sealed copy of Pokemon Yellow worth $10,000. As much as I want to feel bad for the guy, I can't, man, because they paid an arm and a leg for that. Whether it was in good condition or not, they paid an arm and a leg from the worst grading company in the history of grading companies. And then Customs says, good luck. And they just rip into it like this. I mean, if it were me, I would have been crushed, because now that's worthless. Like, it's just a game cartridge that he's going to try and probably sell for $300, if that. And it'll sit on it because nobody's going to budge.
Oh, nobody buying it now. It's cartridge only.
I mean, they broke the acrylic. They ripped the front cardboard off. They ripped the seal. They ripped everything.
How does that happen?
I've seen images online of like people getting like the Anbernic emulation consoles and stuff like that, and Customs opens it up and they like repack it, and it looks like somebody's dog ate half the side of it because Customs has a bunch of gorillas working there. But like maybe they're trying to be the next Samsonite and test the quality of the case. I don't know, but like, how do you if you know what it is and it says what it is and it went through the X-ray machine, like what else was in there that you couldn't see?
A bomb. It's a bomb.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a video game. Unless somebody just had that much of a distaste for Pokemon, you know, like
It could be the distaste for Wada,
or that too. They said, you know what, good luck. But like, I want to feel bad for the guy, but you bought a game from like the Adam Sesslers of video game grading companies, and here we are, and now you're
So here's a tweet from a friend of mine received this sealed and graded original copy of Pokemon Yellow. U.S. Customs broke the acrylic case, ripped and discarded the seal, sliced the front off the box. Maybe they weren't a fan of WADA graded games. So, I mean, like, they absolutely butchered this. Now, all of our thoughts for WADA games aside, this is really sad because obviously there's only so many versions of Pokemon Yellow that are sealed in circulation now.
I think he needs the backspace a little bit on his original tweet there, though. His friend did not receive a sealed and graded copy of Pokemon. He received an unsealed and not really graded well copy of Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Shame.
I mean, the only thing he could do now is keep the cart, hope the manuals and the advertisements in it are still good, and buy a new box, or try to find somebody that's just selling a box for cheap.
Yeah. How many thousands of dollars do you anticipate this gentleman probably paid for that?
Probably $2,000. I mean, there's probably sold listings on eBay that would indicate how much he would have paid for it. I mean, anything WADA graded is just absolutely stupidly overpriced anyway. And I hate the whole grading shit because it's just we've talked about it before. It's a really dumb way of overinflating the price of games because they're either sealed or not sealed, like whatever. I mean, me personally, like, there's very few things that I'll buy a box. I mean, like, I've shown this off before, but like Final Fantasy 2, I got a good price for this that has all the manuals and the maps in it. Like, that was fine. I'm happy to pay for that. But why would I pay?
What's the number on that?
What's the number on this one?
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
What do you mean?
I can't tell. No, my apologies. The number on the Pokemon Yellow.
Oh, it's a 9.2.
9.0 is listed right now on eBay for $4,499.
Well, I'll tell you what, that 9.2 just went up to a 10, man, a solid 10, because if you remember the Super Mario 64 packaging that was all ripped to hell, that's a solid 10 all day, man. Super glue it all back together, get a marker, put that, 9.2, change it to a 10.2, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
It just doubled, tripled in price.
But yeah, U.S. Customs is absolute trash for doing this. But disappointing.
Nettis brought up a good point. If you're buying something that's worth $10,000, insure the package. Get something. Like,
he'll get a payout, as he should.
He will.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyway, what else do we have on this? Okay, so this is a good one. I think Cody, you've.
You've been good at these.
You've teed this one up.
So, again, our very reputable news source, harddrive.net, they actually have an expository piece this week. It comes from author Jeremy Kaplowitz. Headline here, I touched every blade of grass in Breath of the Wild and learned I need to make increasingly complicated video game content in order to feel anything anymore. There are a couple of key excerpts here that I thought were heavily interesting from a game development standpoint, because he says here. Let me find the exact line. He says he started around March 2017, inspired by a comment left by an anonymous user on his video romancing every character in Stardew Valley until he feels real life love, and the comment simply said, touch grass. So he took that as a challenge to continue touching every single blade of grass in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And the biggest takeaways that he learned here highlighted, you can easily kill elemental Wizrows by hitting them with their elemental weakness. He learned that his thumbs need daily ice baths after swinging around on a control stick. Too much left, and that left them covered in large painful calluses. He learned that throwing a Joy-Con in frustration against the wall does not fix drift, and in fact makes it worse, which I think is a surprise to all of us. He learned where some of the Korok seeds are, and he learned that a DLC announcement introducing new areas to a game you love can make you cry in a bad way. for the future for him. He says he is excited for his next chapter of his life, which will be far, far away from making over-the-top video game content in a desperate attempt to stand out from the millions of other pieces of video game content that gets produced every day, i.e. Breakfast to Champions podcast. Thank you for the shout-out there.
Yep, thank you.
Hard Drive. And he does go on to say, I hope you join me for my next project, which is to come out in 2023. I did 18 hours of therapy a day for 1 full year to see if I could speedrun mental health.
Nice. I can't wait for that to be in AGDQ next year.
Me too. I'm definitely signing up. 1,000%.
Yeah, there you go. This guy's probably stoked for Tears of the King.
So much grass to touch.
I would have thought, at least throwing your Joy-Con against the wall would get the dust out from under it and fix drift, but
I don't know.
I did. But I also learned where some of the Korok seeds were during my playthrough. I thought that was interesting.
Nice.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But no, to kind of decompress off of that, like doing everything in one video game. Is there a game that you guys have played that you tried to do everything in and then you just ended up hating it because it took all the joy out of it? I will be honest, like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was the one that did take away my enjoyment because I went to go find every shrine. I went to go fight every divine beast, and I tried to find as many of the Korok seeds as I could, and I signed out of that game real quick after that.
It becomes a chore, like realistically.
Yep.
It's just unattainable.
If I wanted chores, I'd play Animal Crossing.
Oh, so true. I actually bought that. I bought that for Amber to play the other day.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
It is until it's not. You know which one did that for me though? Earthbound.
Oh, you see, you didn't get that Sword of King.
Hot take.
Hot take. Listen. I spent 3 stream days, a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Saturday, well over 8 hours plus looking for the sword of whatever the hell, the sword that doesn't exist, and I couldn't find it, and I, could have been done with that game 3 days sooner. And I don't want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. I think you hacked your game.
Probably.
There's no way.
I don't know. Like when I was talking about playing through it semi recently, and I've started that playthrough. KB is apparently the king of poo because I've never completed Earthbound like ever. I've started it a couple of times, never completed it. I did the casino mission, I think, on the Game Boy Advance version of it, like when you go into that casino room, and that's as far as I got into it originally. I played through all of Earthbound Beginnings. That game sucked.
Yikes.
It was bad. And I thought I should play through all. Honestly, I think that was another one. I tried to touch every blade of grass and then just kind of signed out from the Mother trilogy because of too many blades. But
too many blades.
I got really worried when you guys were talking about that. I was like, wait, am I being trolled by Eric? Is that what am I being trolled? Does it actually exist? Is this a side mission? I will never know because you guys are neither one making a reaction. So.
Well,
do not look for the sword.
I'm trying to find the clip on my Twitch page, and I cannot find any clips at all. Oh,
that's because it does. It's very convenient.
I'm searching by a different one. I do have the. I do have it here with when I found Sword of the Kings, and it was awesome. It took me 4 hours to find it.
It must be nice. Must be nice to show up and find the sword.
I don't know. I am excited to play it. I think I'm going to reserve the rest of my playthrough for Twitch, most likely. I'm looking forward to trying that out. The one thing that I will say is I played through it. I went and I took Pokey and Pocky back home, or whatever his brother's name is, back home. I walked out of the door and I walked up to this dog and it attacked me immediately and I got straight up owned by it. And I was like, all right, I'm done right now. I'm done. So is this you finding it?
Yeah.
This is a doctored video.
Oh, okay.
This is a doctor. This is a farce. This is a farce.
It exists.
There it is, inside the present with the Sword of Kings, and look at my reaction.
Yeah, I bet.
Your camera looks so much better now, by the way. You look so much better
really
now.
Does.
You're kind of sexy now.
I was clean.
Eric looks like he's 21, getting ready to turn 22.
Yeah, that's good old days, dude. That was
baby Eric on stream, live and uncut. Unfiltered.
So, speaking of the good old days, did you know that one of the alleged greatest games of all time has been made as an HBO special?
Oh, God.
So, The Last of Us allegedly breaks the curse of shit video game adaptation, says Triple J. So that is such a Triple J headline. Like, I know that those of you who don't live in Australia wouldn't understand, but Triple J is such a trendy, try hard, just radio outlet or just journalism outlet hosted by late teens and early 20s people who you would find working in a clothing store for a brand name chain. I don't whatever. So
it's like IGN.
Yeah, but the Australian version, these people that would they would describe themselves as cruisy, and you would find them at cafes having soy lattes.
Oh my God.
So anyway, that just describes the headline here. So anyway, the Last of Us came out. Have you guys seen it? I have not seen it.
I have.
I stayed up late last night after getting my kiddo to use the potty. If you guys were there on my stream, I left pretty early to go help with the constipation issue. But I watched it at about 3 a.m. today, and that first episode, I did not know what I was signing up for. It's an hour and a half long.
Wow.
It's like a movie. It's a long one.
Yeah, but I liked it. I personally liked it. But I'll leave it there for KB to poop all over it because he poops all over everything I love.
That's what I'm good at. I found something I'm good at finally, and now I get hell for it every time.
It's good at pooping on everything I love? Is that...
Yeah. Listen. Mrs. Nerd told me, you find something that you're good at. She had a heartfelt conversation. She said, listen, find something that you're good at. And when you do, and you can follow your heart, only then you'll find true happiness. And I'm like, just, harassing Cody. Brings me great joy. So I've just been,
Thanks, wife. Oh man, no, for real though. Let's hear it. Let's hear the hottest take in the land.
So I can't stand this game at all. I can't stand the series. Sony is they're trying to Grand Theft Auto 5 this game into existence, and it just needs to die. I can't stand it. It's so stupid.
Skyrim it into existence, right?
Skyrim's a good game. I wouldn't mind it if it's a good game. I'll play whatever a million times. I think I bought Skyrim 3 separate times, but I just can't stand The Last of Us. It's another stupid zombie game. Now it's a stupid zombie TV show.
I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone, but if you played the game, I will tell you guys, if you played the game at all, even the first hour of it, pretty much this show treads all of that ground. Every bit of that ground. It is a very well done shot for shot remake of the video game. And
it is.
I think personally I liked it. I wasn't the biggest fan of the game, not because I didn't think the game was good, not because I did not think the game was good, but because it didn't do anything that groundbreaking for me as a gamer. It was interesting as a concept, but I was not enjoying my time playing it. It's not because it's a scary game either, all of you people that want to call me a big baby. But it was just not. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. But
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I kind of want to hold. I kind of want to hold some opinions for our topic here in a few minutes. But,
okay.
Eric, I know you said you haven't seen it. Are you interested in seeing it?
No.
At all? No. Not at all.
No. I mean, I don't. Look, I know it's a bit of a hot take, and I know. I'm kind of with KB here because I bought Last of Us when it came out in May of 2013. I played it on PlayStation 3. I thought it was a good experience. It wasn't, to me, a 10 out of 10 game. And I was at that point in time where The Walking Dead had been popular for a long time. The zombie apocalypse stuff has been around, and I'm personally tired of it. And there's nothing about a television show of that appeals to me other than Pedro Pascal, who is now TV's favorite daddy, of course, because he's the Mandalorian.
Smutty daddy, as he. I just churched it up a little bit. I don't know if you saw that clip, but he called himself a smutty daddy.
Oh,
again, churching that up a little bit. It was pretty funny.
I see. But I mean, I think he's a fantastic actor, and I can't wait for Mandalorian season 3. The thing is if it's, and Netta says this in the chat, and I actually agree with this. if it's a shot-for-shot remake of the game, why does there need to be a television series about it? Other than for people who don't play games to access this story, which, in my opinion, like, isn't really anything flash. And that's, you know, could I come up with anything better? Probably not. But this is just me as like an average, probably JRPG fan. Like, you know, they're not killing God in there, so you know. But what I have seen, you know, like in terms of like adaptations, just judging by the trailer, I think they've done a pretty good job. I do not like the casting for Ellie, purely because she just looks weird. And
apparently, a lot of people don't
you
like her.
ugly little girl. Get off the screen.
What I'm saying is there are actresses that look more similar to the character of Ellie, rather than. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean. She doesn't look like Ellie.
Look, if they wanted to get the sloth from Ice Age, man, they could have just called up DreamWorks. I'm sure they would have let, gave
John
Sloth
Leguizamo.
up, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It's me. I'm coming here to get some tickers, the liquors, whatever.
I saw there was like a short list of actresses that they had lined up to play Ellie. And I mean, obviously, like, allegedly the best actress got the role for the part, but I don't know. She doesn't look like Ellie. I don't know.
I watching it and being a huge Game of Thrones fan, there were a ton of people from Game of Thrones in that. So I think HBO was like, oh, we already have a set handful of people we're gonna give access to this, and that's all.
To kind of answer Netta's question about if it's a shot for shot remake, why? And this is kind of where I would say most adaptations kind of jump the shark, is that too often people are trying to do something new and innovate, where it's not needed. The reason people fell in love with that franchise is because they want to experience that franchise. And we'll get to it eventually, but I mean, if you want to talk about doing something different, let's talk about the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Mm-hmm. Or should we just flick over to our topic now?
Deviation.
Because
we could. I mean, we should.
Okay, so we're in topic territory now. The video game adaptations into movies and TV. Last of Us, allegedly the best one yet. So continue your train of thought there, Cody. So Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. So as far as that goes, I think a lot of times the deviations are too extreme, right? So the directors, granted, back when they made Super Mario Brothers in 1991, 92, 93, back when they made that movie originally, they didn't have a whole lot of like backstory or content to base this movie around. It was this franchise that was a Mario, a little pixel dude that's running and chasing turtles and stomping on mushroom people. Like that was effectively all that the directors had to go off of. But it was such a sharp deviation from what was the established story within that universe, at least up until that point, that I think a lot of people signed out, and it got panned as a bad movie. Now, I'll tell you my opinion. I like that movie.
Oh, it's a masterpiece.
I don't disagree that it's bad. Hold on. Are you not peeing in my Cheerios today?
I love the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s, yo. I can't, I have to watch it at least maybe once, twice a year. It's something I have to do. I love it. And when they're in the elevator and they're going, da, na, 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 I'd sit there and I'm sitting in my chair doing the same thing with them, man. I love that movie. That movie is amazing.
Put the doorstep on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur in the freaking dance rave, and you've got Big Bertha there, and she has that rock between her clavage.
Yes,
and okay. So hey, did we just become best friends? Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
That being said, the answer that I want to give to Nettist's question that was posed is that I think, from a perspective of they're going to choose these characters, they do not want to deviate from that storyline too heavily. You look at Game of Thrones and the subject material and the fact that they ran out of material to do, so they wrote their own final season without George R.R. Martin really being involved. They want to stick as true to that source material as they can. Now, there is some extra. There's some extra content in the backstory there at the beginning that's front loaded with what's going on with Joel's daughter and getting his watch fixed and a couple of other things. For those of you that haven't watched, I'm not going to spoil too much, but that's in the first 2 seconds of the video game. I'm not spoiling anything there, but they expand on that world and create some tangibility and some realism and a reason for you to be bought into his daughter. At that time, 10, 20 years in the past. That being said, I'm totally fine with it being a shot-for-shot remake of that game because, kind of what Eric said, I didn't finish that game. It did get a little scary for me because I am a big baby boy, but this gives me an access point where I don't have to just watch somebody play through it, and I don't have to watch all the monotony of it being a video game. I get to have the cinematic experience of this game turned to movie, TV, high budget film production. And that is the entry point for, I think, a lot of people. My mom would not play The Last of Us, right? But my mom would probably watch the TV show. And I think from a marketing standpoint, that's good for mass appeal and will hopefully drive attention to the video game as a whole. Do I think it deserves it?
Yeah.
I'll leave that opinion shelved for a second. But do I think it's good for video games to have good video game adaptations that maybe don't break the mold all that much? 1,000%.
Overall, yeah. I mean, it's good for visibility because Mario Brothers movie was really the only adaptation for a long time, and it was panned critically. It's it's a bad movie, but it's good. I like it. I'll watch it. So everything that was adapted to movies and television for video games had this stigma to it that it's always going to be trash because it's always been trash. But now we're getting to the point where if something is done correctly, and Neil Druckmann, the original producer or storyteller from Naughty Dog is very heavily involved in this game. Yeah. So you have the original creator guiding the hand of the director for the show. So it obviously makes sense that it's going to retain the original vision and stuff. On the other hand, you have something like the Super Mario Brothers movie coming out in just a couple of weeks, really. That is probably going to be one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Last of Us has already topped the highest watched HBO show already. So that's a commercial success straight up. So have we reached the point now where things are finally going to be good? After 30 years worth of bad stuff? Possibly.
I just looked up The Last of Us on Rotten Tomatoes just to see. It is currently at 99% positive. 95% average audience score. I guess you are the 5% of votes you've been on there vote bombing it.
If it's 99% positive, you and I both know that's people who have bought the game 1,000 times, people who will sit there and shove it down their neighbor's throat about how they need to play this amazing game. The only game on PlayStation that they need to play is The Last of Us Part 1. You got to make 1,000 shivs and throw 1,000,000 rocks at this stupid friggin' fungus zombie.
That was critical. That was critical. The critical ranking. But I will say when you switch over to top critics, which includes people like Hollywood Reporter and all that other jazz, actual
legit
movie,
reviews,
TV show reviews, the place that would do it, Richard Ebert, that kind of stuff. It did drop down to a 95 as a critic score. All critics, Film Authority and everyone included 99%, but.
Interesting.
Siskel and Ebert would probably give it 2 thumbs down. Look, if you're buying The Last of Us 1,000 times, you might as well just buy all the Sega's, video games. You might as well be a Sega fan at that point. I don't know. How dare?
Oh my God.
I just okay. So the game, I can't stand it. The show, I'm I'm watching it zombie, oh no, I look over at Mrs. KB.
Zombies, bro.
I look over at Mrs. KB and she's like, "Oh my god, it's like the game." Her eyes are real wide. She's like edge of her seat while she stayed up the whole way through to watch it. And I can't get her to watch a movie all the way through to save my life. And she goes, "This is amazing. I love it. Finally, the game I love." And I'm staring at her. You know what I mean? Like the Arthur shaking my fist. Like I thought we were a team here. You know, I thought we were a united front.
I think that's the common misconception about like how everything from a zombie film standpoint is all grouped together because I mean you guys pretty much summed it up right there. I've seen The Walking Dead, I've seen 28 Days Later, I've seen blah blah blah, like what have you. This story is not about the zombies. This story is about Joel, and this story is about Ellie.
All right.
And the zombies are window dressing.
Let me ask you this. How many movies have we had? How many books have we had? How many comic books have we had? How many manga? How many Japanese anime cartoons have we had where there's the protagonist and he's going to be doing all his things and then all of a sudden, oh no, you have to watch this child. It's been done a million times before. It's nothing new.
Nothing is new. Everything's a trope.
It's a trope.
I'll send you that documentary.
But it's been done before 1,000 times over. It's like Fast and the Furious, man. They can only rob semi trucks for so long before Dominic Toretto just loses his absolute mind.
Listen, Lady KB, if you want to enjoy that show and you don't want someone peeing in your Cheerios, just come on down, hang out with me and Mrs. Nerd. I'll get the Doritos and the pizza, and you can hang out with Mrs. Nerd and have a girls' night. Pizza. Like it'll be good. But. That does kind of bring us into the actual main topic, though, which I think this was a good segue for that. And it's we're going to be talking about video game adaptations in general, and I thought about doing this just shotgun style. Let's throw it out there and give our quick thoughts. Did we like it? Were we neutral on it? Did we hate it? Would we recommend it as ranked by us? And this is a lot of video game adaptations here, guys. There's a lot of them. Most of them directed by Uwe Boll, and those are the bad ones. I'll throw it out there. But I thought we could give some thoughts and wrap up at the end about like which ones we think are the best out of this list that we go over. So I'm going to name the movie. And you guys can say love it, hate it, neutral, whatever you want to say. Okay.
All right.
So we're going to be starting off with the Angry Birds movie franchise.
Never watched.
That was fine. Amber and I watched it. You know what? I didn't hate it. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yep. It was neutral. It was passable. It was a good. I mean, they had Jason Sudeikis in it, I think, as like the main Redbird. Yeah, Jason Sudeikis, Josh Gad.
They adapted a nothing game, an app, into a movie. So
yeah,
I mean,
a mobile game. Yeah,
it surprisingly has 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'll be honest. That's a surprisingly high score.
Good for kids, probably.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu from 2019.
Oh,
God tier.
Phenomenal! Can't wait for the second one.
They canned it.
I really disliked how they made the Pokemon. Some of the Pokemon look, specifically Mewtwo.
Mr.
Some of them were a little creepy
weird.
looking, man.
Weird.
Like
Charizard
fuel.
was messed up.
Yeah, but it was still good.
So it's got a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
But I think it's
that low,
which is stupid. Yep. So here's where the disconnect comes in of people who want to watch The Last of Us and critically rank it at a 95, and people watch Pokemon Detective Pikachu and rank it a 68. I digressed. Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, the movies,
good.
The most recent ones, 2020 and 2022, with Jim Carrey and James Marsden and all of them. Good.
I watched the first one and fell asleep through it because it didn't hook me. But I don't like Sonic, so
Sonic 2 was really great.
I haven't watched Sonic 2 yet.
Do it.
Sonic 1 I watched, and I thought it was okay. I was like, this is okay. And I've heard 2 is significantly better and more faithful to the content material.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So the average score between those movies is a 66% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Sonic 1, like we know the critical commercial reception when they released the Blue Rat, because that was really tone deaf. But I mean, Sonic 2 was absolutely they nailed it, and I cannot wait for the setup for Sonic 3 as they tease something at the end of that. So that'll be fun. I look forward to that.
That's very cool. Mortal Kombat 2021 on HBO, and I don't think neither of you watched it, did you?
No.
I did, and I will say that movie is a go watch that one. It has a 54% critical reception on Rotten Tomatoes, but I would say it is very faithful to the subject material and done in a way that you can actually take seriously, unlike the 1990s Mortal Kombats. I think you guys have seen those. How do you feel about those?
I mean,
I have not.
It was like B grade back in the day, but I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad B grade. You know what I mean? It was fine.
I think its Rotten Tomatoes scoring on here is very deserving. It's got a 45% Rotten Tomatoes score. It's very. I mean, it's a middle of the road movie, bad B rated budget film.
But I mean,
When I asked this originally, none of you guys have watched Final Fantasy Spirits Within, so I'm gonna skip that one, but I'm gonna ask you guys about one that's not on this list. Final Fantasy Advent Children. How do you feel about that film?
10 out of 10.
Never watched it.
10 out of 10. You didn't watch Advent Children, Kibby?
I want to finish my run through of Final Fantasy Crisis Core and then the Final Fantasy remake, and then when that's all done, then I'll finally watch Advent.
I will say, however, I remember when they announced that movie, I went and pre-ordered the DVD at Electronics Boutique. And this is like 20 years ago now, almost. I actually probably would have been 20 years ago because it came out in 2004, if I remember correctly. I mean,
I think it had groundbreaking visuals.
It was amazing. And even now, like, you know, if you've watched some of the in-game cutscenes in Final Fantasy VII Remake, there's one specific cutscene, and it's when they go in the Shinra building, and they have this flashback to when the Cetra roamed the planet. That is one of the most amazing CG like cutscenes in a game that I've ever seen. Like, that is like amazing graphics. But in 2004, when we saw Advent Children, and of course they've upscaled it in 4K and all that stuff, like that was amazing. Gorgeous looking movie. Amazing. I even watched one of the clips the other day just to kind of refresh what happens at the end, because, you know, I've just finished Crisis Core and I want to see some of those characters in the movie. It was awesome. Great movie. And I tell you what, another good one that we haven't talked about was the Final Fantasy 15 prequel movie.
Kingsglaive, yes.
Kingsglaive. That is a great movie, and that is a gorgeous movie. I highly recommend that one.
It is really good. I watched that one with Mrs. Nerd, and she still had no clue what was going on. I don't blame her. Like, she's like, I don't know what's going on. But it was a fun movie. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
None of us has seen Uncharted 2022, correct?
I saw it.
Had seen that?
I saw half of it.
You've seen it.
Because the version that I downloaded was corrupted about 45 minutes in, and I never went back to it.
I understand.
I didn't want to watch it because I don't like the Uncharted games.
I thought so. You just don't like Naughty Dog.
I love Crash Bandicoot.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
It's fine.
man, here we go. And now he's peeing in Eric's Cheerios. Look at him go.
No, it's fine. I don't love Uncharted. Like, Uncharted is a great series, but I found it hard to disassociate Tom Holland from being Tom Holland in the movie. You know what I mean? Because
I really wanted Nathan Fillion to be cast.
Me too. And he did a fan film, and he was great. I feel like he would have been a more believable Nathan Drake rather than Tom Holland.
Yep. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think I was the only one who watched that one. Objectively bad, and I loved those video games. And I think Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, very bad, very deserving of its. Actually, it should be ranked a little bit less, but it's a 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. But it is a very bad movie. I think I asked about Resident Evil as a film franchise, not the TV, not the Netflix series, but the Mia Jovovich film franchise.
Cheesy. They've always appeared just cheese, straight cheddar.
Yep. I don't get the whole, like, this is not built around the video games by any means, in my opinion. Like, there's not enough tie-in to that, and it is just very Resident Evil adjacent. Most of those movies sitting anywhere between 27 to 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. Most of those.
Yikes.
Not surprising.
Silent Hill 2006.
Yo, now we're talking, man. Now we're talking.
Okay, I haven't
was
seen
a
this
good
one.
one.
Have you seen it, Eric?
No, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, so KB, you're gonna have to fill us in. Good
You
one.
gotta watch it, dude. It's pretty good because I kind of played some of the games, and they did a good job of setting the scene for that universe, dude. Like, yo, it was so good. Plus, it's based off of a town in Pennsylvania, so how can I not like it?
It's very true.
I understand.
With the
You know what I mean?
smoke
Like
coming
how-
out of the ground. I've been there.
Yep. I still want to go there, man, but apparently the state police watch it a little bit heavier than they used to.
Yeah.
You think it's deserving of its 31% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I mean, it was definitely cheesy, but like there were some scenes where I'm like, whoa, what is happening here?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, the 2016 live action film. I have not seen. You guys,
I remember
was another good one.
Remember
Man,
the
that was
you're gonna be real sad, KB, when I say the score on this one.
it's probably like a 2.
I thought people liked it.
You got a 29% critically.
Ah,
oh my God.
If I click through on it, it actually has a 76% audience score. So I would say that's probably offset by people who have not played the games and like just enjoyed a fantasy movie. I think that the critics themselves just don't like fantasy sci-fi in general because most of the time those things get ranked pretty low in general.
Like I thought it was good, man. I never played the games, and I was loving it. I was waiting for more, and they're never gonna do it.
Man, here we go. I will heavily disagree with this one. Super Mario Bros. 1993. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah, it's
I give it 2 thumbs way up.
It's so bad it's good.
Yep, it is so adjacent to everything that is Mario, but I think Bob Hoskins did a great job being Mario. I think John Leguizamo. Let me rephrase that. I got to use his full name. John Alberto Leguizamo did a wonderful job as Luigi. Dennis Hopper is a star of the show there as King Bowser. I would cast him today had he still been alive as King Bowser. I think he did a great job being intimidating and regal. I heavily disagree with the 29% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Not fair.
Look, if I click through on this to see the audience score, though, it is also at 29%. So
Listen,
so who can say? But it is in our live chat. Kinsley Extreme says it is childhood nostalgia for me, and I remember that coming on Disney Channel and watching it on the Disney Channel every time it came on, and I desperately wanted it, but we didn't go buy VHSs often. I had one VHS. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first movie.
Oh, nice.
I had one VHS growing up, and I watched that on repeat. But I had a blank one, and I recorded the Disney Channel cut of Super Mario Bros. Movie, and would watch that on repeat on the blank VHS.
I mean, old Hoskins did that movie with a broken ankle.
He did.
He broke his ankle while filming a scene and then continued to film the rest of the movie. Like it's so good.
It was a troubled start, and I think they shifted directors. Like, I mean, it was bound to fail from the start. Yeah. And that's the thing is like the 90s were a terrible time for video game movies, and I feel like a lot of directors and stuff didn't really take video games seriously back then, and that's why it's taken so long to finally get like something that's possibly relatable and normal. You know what I mean? So everything from the 90s is straight cheddar, dude. Like, it's just, you know.
I mean, I'm curious how much of that Mario Brothers movie was lost in translation with Miyamoto, because I guarantee you his English wasn't as good as it was.
Miyamoto was not involved with the production of that movie at all.
No,
at all. And even more crazy, that movie went through several director changes. Finally landed on a crew of people. This husband and wife pairing who could not decide on a proper script. That script was changing every day. There's some behind the scenes footage where Dennis Hopper and then the woman who played the woman who wanted to have the Dennis Hopper's wife in the movie. Yeah. Essentially, lover, harem, whatever she may be. she is talking about how everybody is just getting drunk and high all the time because they're in between takes and they have nothing to do because the husband and wife are arguing with each other and can't decide on what this movie is going to be.
Oh my God.
It is amazing that we got what we got out of that under the circumstances that they were working under. Need for Speed 2014. I think I said in the pre-show, I didn't even know that this was a movie.
I didn't know
that
either.
they did this.
It was good.
KB says it says good. It says good.
About family.
Rotten Tomatoes does not agree with you.
Well,
Rotten Tomatoes, both critic and audience. Critics 22%, audience 57%. Ratchet and Clank 2016, the movie based on the first game.
Great movie.
Great.
I didn't see it.
It is Rotten Tomatoes 21%, critics 42%, audience.
Really? I thought it was like a Pixar movie. It wasn't awesome, but like I liked it. I enjoyed it.
It was the cutscene that never ends, you know?
Yes,
Then we're moving into something I think we all can agree with. You know, I agree with you, KP. Like that is the cutscene that never ends. I think we can all agree on. I hope we do anyway. Lara Croft Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, and they only have the one listed here for me to click through, so I can only see just the first movie's ranking. How did you guys feel about that film?
Didn't seen it, and I'm not interested.
Oh, you didn't see that one?
No.
See, the reason I don't like Uncharted is because I'm a Tomb Raider fan. So, like, I was all about it. I'm like, yo, the games I've been playing it's a movie. I want to watch it. So,
I would say I liked it. I thought it was a very good action film. It was Angelina Jolie and her like highlights of her life and acting career. It came on the heels of stuff like The Mummy, and I was very into that. But I am surprised by the score here. Critics gave it a 20%, audience gives it a 47%, and I disagree with that ranking significantly from an audience perspective.
There you go.
Michael Fassbender's Assassin's Creed.
Assbender?
I said Fassbender.
Oh, I think you said Assbender.
it's not what I heard.
I think the F got cut. Did you guys watch that one?
No, I don't like Assassin's Creed enough. I mean, like,
I skipped that one too.
yeah.
I'm with you. I don't like Michael Fassbender that much either. So
This is fine.
Doom 2005, Carl Urban and The Rock. I can't remember. Did you guys say you watched that one or skipped that one?
Skipped it.
That's got like an 18%. It's objectively bad. I will tell you that much. Just go watch Starship Troopers instead.
That is a good one. Yeah.
Max Payne with Marky Mark Wahlberg and the Funky Bunch.
Nope.
Okay. Street Fighter 1994 with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's good.
Nope.
That's a good movie. It's
I
bad.
also like that
That's
one.
so bad it's good.
Well,
But
tell
I
me
like
about it.
Jean-Claude, like everything that he has been in Bloodsport. Like I loved him in Bloodsport.
Bloodsport's a good movie.
And it was just like more of that, but sci-fi. It was down.
It was like,
yeah.
yeah.
Then they had a couple of movies that I didn't know were games. And finally, the final title on this list, Alone in the Dark with Christian Slater.
Nope.
Watched it? Didn't watch it? That strikes me as a KB film, possibly.
No, I didn't watch it, but I can tell you, I don't think I'd ever want to be alone in the dark with Christian Slater, though.
I don't think critics or the audience did either, because legitimately, it's ranking on Rotten Tomatoes 1% critic, 1% and audience 11.
Wow.
So I'm half tempted to watch it just to see why it's so bad.
Why it's so bad. Yeah.
But that's the massive list. I think there are some must watches on this list that I think people who are fans of video games, who would like video games, should actually give a chance. But I'll start with old Aaron over here. Aaron, what's your top video game adaptation movie and why?
Super Mario Bros. 93, man. Why? Because it hits the nostalgia. The story is so out there that, like, how can you not like it? I mean, hell, at the end of the movie, they take the little bomb and they stick them on the thing, and they all lose their absolute minds. And so like it has so many little moments like that in it that are just like, oh my god.
Yep.
Like I don't know, it ticks all the boxes for me. It's super cheesy, and I'm all about the super cheesiness. I mean, let me ask you that.
Among Us.
Right? I mean, well, what I want to know is why weren't the Ninja Turtles movies on there?
They were an IP. They weren't a video game adaptation. They were an IP before even becoming a movie or a video game.
I was gonna say, I'm like, there's so many good games out there that they could have. You know what I mean? I don't know.
See, that's the thing we should do next is movies that get turned into video games. Let's rank those next time. Like
trash. They're always trash, dude.
But there are some good tie-ins. If we talk about like franchise video games, Yo Noid, Avoid the Noid, good games, great games.
Dude, the Finding Nemo game for PS2 was incredibly hard, but really good and really good, like put together.
There you go.
So Mario is KB's. Eric, what's your all-time favorite video game adaptation turned to film?
I have to actually say it's a tough choice, but I think I'm gonna have to say Detective Pikachu. I really liked that movie. I thought they did a really great job with turning a lot of those characters into like actually 3D models and stuff. I mean, like we said, some of them looked a bit weird and grotesque, like Mr. Mime. But I mean, like as far as a story, I thought it was really good. It was a twist that I didn't see coming. I'm not going to spoil it just in case. But I'm sad that they kind of shelved the remainder of that. But that was pretty good. And then probably my second will be Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is really great, and I look forward to Sonic 3.
Yep, I would agree. I like both of your all choices. I think they're very, very, very good. If I think about movies that have left an impact on me, and if I were to say my favorite one, I legit like I think about Final Fantasy Advent Children often because of how groundbreakingly beautiful that game was. Or not that game, my apologies, that film was. I think it did something very different and was very true to the subject material. And realistically, my other choices, and I would say this is tied for number one, is the Super Mario Bros. Movie as well with KB. But you're absolutely right. Detective Pikachu, I think, is authentic to the source material. Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, even though I haven't seen it, I've heard many people say that it is very authentic to the subject material.
I mean, there's a lot of cheese in that movie. There's a lot of cheese, and I think the best thing that they can do for that series is actually move away from the human actors and make them a very incredibly minimal part of that story. And that's what they're transitioning for. But I totally forgot about Advent Children, so that's easily my number one, 100%. Just because of the hype that I had for that game, that game and the series. I mean, I did the freaking live stream album, dude. Like, that's a massive part of my life. So Advent Children, number one. Sorry, forgot.
Absolutely. No, you're golden. You're golden. But that's kind of the topic. That's the topic for the day. That was very neat. That was fun. I had fun.
We had a lot of fun. So let's wrap this sucker up.
We're alive. Don't say anything bad.
We're still live. Did anybody hear that? Because I had no idea if the sound actually came through because I didn't hear it on my end. Anyway,
I don't know.
We don't have anything for our wrap up segment. I'm just glad to be back and in some sort of normal capacity this week. Actually, how about this? How about we wrap it up with the games that we've been playing? We can do like a really quick what we've been playing.
Oh boy,
because we've never done that at all on the show.
Aaron, you go first. You go first, friend.
On stream, I'm starting all the Persona. Well, not all of them, but Persona 3 through 5. And 3's been good, so I've been checking that out. I've also been getting into Oracle of Seasons. That's been fun. Almost done with that. And then off stream, and getting back into some Back 4 Blood, even though I crapped all over The Last of Us. Back 4 Blood is fun. It's very fun because it's just nothing but chaos. And if you know me, you know that's my.
Is that like the Left 4 Dead-esque game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
It is Left 4 Dead. A lot of the same.
It's Left 4
studio
Dead
members
3.
are part of
Yeah.
it. Yep.
Yeah. Playing Back for Blood, and then tried to play a little bit of the Raft, but had issues running it. But I mean, other than that,
Nice.
that's it. That's all.
Nice.
What about you, Eric? What you been playing?
Final Fantasy 9 Mogiri mod. I'm making a video about that so that we can check that out. I'm probably my YouTube channel next week.
It's gonna be a how-to install. Is that what's going up there too?
It's going to be the best way to play Final Fantasy 9 in 2023.
Interesting.
Then I know to just ask Eric for help. Then.
Just ask him. I haven't had a ton of time to play anything else. I mean, like I really want to play the entirety of Final Fantasy 9 on stream. I am into it to the point that I think I will go multiple weeks playing that game. What else am I going to do?
I'm excited to watch the VODs.
And plus, it saves me thinking about what the hell to do.
Right.
Aside from that, I actually played. I'm gonna come up with I'm working on another video. KB is gonna star in it as well. It's like 6 games or 5 games you should play on your Steam Deck, and I've been playing through a couple of games. One of which is Super Kiwi 64. That's a really cool one.
Super Kiwi 64.
Yep.
I saw that it was like a $5 game on Switch, like a $3 game on Steam. It looks like 64.
It's really good. It's really casual. It's really fun. So that's all I'll say. And then I picked up Fire Emblem Engage yesterday. I put about 1 hour into it last night after I put my son to bed. And I'm enjoying it, but I can't remember which one of you guys said it. I think KB, you said it. It's pretty much like a VTuber game. But the combat is great. It's just, it's typical, like, all that fluff aside, it's just standard Fire Emblem's tactics games, and they are so addicting. I really love them. So I'm keen to play that. That'll be my off-stream game. What about you, Nerdwire?
Well, I've been, for the first time ever, playing through Undertale. I think we talked about that at the top of the show, right before we started the actual podcast, I think. Really enjoyed that game. Started Fire Emblem Engage. I picked up my Divine Edition. I've got like the it's still even like chilling here. The
my
big
God.
box. A lot of really, really cool stuff in, but I'm like, I mean, we did tactics to get the tactics go together. I'm Fire Emblem through and through. Like, I love those games.
Yeah.
I probably won't be streaming that one. I streamed the first half hour of it last night. But I really want to get the chance to experience it on my own and actually take it in. So I'm going to step away from streaming it so I can actually focus on it.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing through Road Rash for the Sega Genesis on my Analog Pocket. Yeah.
That's a fun game.
And I love Road Rash. I love that game. I've been grinding out some money because I want to buy the top motorcycle on there, and it's really frustrating because there's like no save states in that FPGA core on the Sega Genesis stuff. So like I'm having to write down the code. I've been having to write down the code that it gives you in the shop when you buy motorcycles or when you finish a race, and then having to type in that like 16-digit code on a D-pad and the A button. But that's been really, really, really fun, and just a good time. I am very surprised how much of an impact Undertale made on me too. Like that game, I stayed away from it because of the fan base, but that game has become one of my favorite games I think ever I've ever played.
It's really good.
Can I recommend you, Cody, to play a game? If you're into Road Rash, it's not similar. Well, it's similar, but it's not similar. Rad Racer on the NES.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Let me see. Do I have that?
It's a really good one.
I'm gonna boot it up and see if I have that. If I don't, I'm gonna write it down.
That is a fun game to play, and the nighttime levels look really great. So there you go.
That's amazing. I need to look at that.
There you go. So that's.
I don't have. Wait.
That's worth playing.
Wait. I do have it, and there's a second one.
Hey.
Rad Racer 1 and 2. Go play them.
I'm playing them right now.
Play them. Play them. It's honestly, it's a great game. So there you have it. We have pretty much wrapped episode 27. Remember, if you want to call into the show, you can do so at 1315-314-4190. I would love to hear what you guys have to say as far as voicemail. And don't forget, if you're listening on iTunes and Spotify, please give us a rating or a review on Apple, or give us a
I think 5 stars or whatever stars you think we're capable of on Spotify. By the way, this is really exciting. Our last episode received 35 downloads, and our Ultimate Christmas Cast got 42. So it actually looks like our shows are kind of trending upwards a little bit, which is really exciting.
That's awesome.
Last but not least, don't forget, you can go support the show on Patreon. After this, we're taking a 5-second break, and then we're going to film our GameStop tell-all. So, as you know, Cody worked at GameStop for a period of years, and we already have Patreon questions teed up for the show. So that's a bonus episode. So it's available for those of you who are in tier 2 and above. And then next week after our show, we are filming a ladies only show. So our wives are getting together to do a show, and I cannot wait to see what that's all about. So that'll be available to you guys on Patreon as well. So that's the best way to support us if you want to do anything for supporting us and helping keep the lights on at BOCHQ. It's going to be a good one.
I think that'll be the debut of Mrs. KB also, isn't it? That's the debut of her on camera.
Yeah, she's been a bit of an enigma.
So you guys have seen Amber, you guys have seen Mrs. Nerd, but none of you guys have seen the catch that Mr. KB has
and
Mrs. KB.
And if you wanna see Mrs. KB, the only way you're gonna do that is by subscribing to the Patreon.
I saw Mrs. KB's entire face today, and I've only seen half of her face. But today I saw
Same.
I saw Mrs. KB's entire face today, and we've been talking for like over a year at this point, KB.
I know.
Took a long time.
I keep her locked up, man. I keep her locked up.
The old ball and chain.
I can't.
He's got to hold it down. If she were to get out there, she'd get free.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
Oh man,
that's gonna be exciting.
Man. But no, it's good. I'm very excited to see the ladies what they do. We're just gonna walk out of the room too. Like we're not gonna be there.
No,
it's all them.
No, it's all them.
I can't wait, dude. I'm gonna sit on the bean bag that's over there. I'm gonna put my headphones in, my Steam Deck on, and she said whatever she wants.
I'll be upstairs with my son until Amber comes up and says, "Okay, we're done," and then I won't even get to hear it until I edit the show. So I don't know what the hell is going to happen. So it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Just remember, if you want to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/breakfastofchampions-pod, I believe. Or it's just Breakfast of Champions. So there you go. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching episode 27. Obviously, we're live right now, so we're going to flick on over to our post show, and then we're going to tee up a raid to Unseen Gamer, who is playing Fortnite, which is absolutely hilarious.
Fortnite.
All right.
Man.
Any final words for episode 27?
Hey, we're still going, and we're gonna make it past episode 30. Don't you think for a minute that we're leaving anywhere, that we're going anywhere. We're here. We're in your ears. We're on your favorite podcast platform. And then the C word.
The C word all day. We're not going anywhere, friends. And stay classy, San Diego.
Don't forget your towel.